I don't even know where to start with this. It's the last 5 hours have been pretty stressful. I didn't want to give up. I wanted to find it before I went home. I knew I could do it, but it was just racking my brain. The pinpoint test wasn't helping me. There were a lot of things with this car wasn't helping me. It's a 2015 Fusion with a 2.5 liter, and the customer states my dog chewed on the key, and then after my dog chewed on the key, the car wouldn't start. And then I took it to two other mechanics, and they couldn't figure out. They think that there's some kind of connection issue somewhere, but they don't know what it is. They can't track it down. So they brought it here. I get the job. Didn't know how I felt about it, just because so many other people had been in it. When I walked up to the car, there was nuts laying on the cowl still. There was the old notes for the guy that was up underneath the hood, and it said something about fuel, and then some chicken scratch, and then it said check battery, some chicken scratch, and then it blew away, blew over into the woods back here. So I said to hell with it. I don't know what this guy was saying. I don't know what he was talking. I don't know what he's checked. He's got the connectors all pulled back and stuff on the harness and everything. So I'm out here messing with it, thinking maybe it's a security issue. No security code set. I just went ahead and did a parameter reset anyway. That didn't help anything. Then what did I do? I did a relative compression check real quick. Just kind of check, see what kind of compression it has. It only had 2% loss on cylinder 3. No big deal. Then I get the vehicle inside. We push it inside. It's actually right over here, and you see the front of it right here. We push the vehicle inside, pull the plugs out of it just to check them real quick. It's quick on these 2.5s, right up top, nothing in the way. 8mm bolt, pull the coil off. Check all the plugs. Cylinder 3 plug is a little cracked. It's got a crack down one side and crack down the other side, so I coated the piss out of it with dielectric grease. Cleaned it up real good. Some of the plugs look fouled. Stuck them back in there. Cylinder 3's been misfiring for a while, for sure, because it was all like dry white. The other ones were fine, so I'm going to recommend they let me put new plugs in this thing, because they all have like a bunch of burn back down the porcelain. I put them all back in, put boots and everything back on it. Key on, I don't hear a fuel pump. Key on, I don't hear a fuel pump. No codes are showing up in the computer, no nothing at all. I grab a little can of ether and just give it a quick shot just to see if it'll even attempt to fire. Boom, right up. Ran for about 2 or 3 seconds, right back down. So I pulled the can a little bit further away so it wasn't saturating it so much, and I just gave it some real good, nice long shots, and it sucked all that ether up in there, just kind of like the light mist of it. It ran for about 4 or 5 seconds. I said, okay, it's not an ignition issue. This thing is really running good when it's running. It's got a nice, smooth sound to it, so that's not it. Made sure all the fluids and stuff were full and all that. I pull up my data logger, and I'm looking at my fuel pump command, and I'm turning the fuel pump on, and I can't hear the fuel pump run at all. I go up to the injector rail, and I pull the fuel line off the injector rail, and I turn key on. No fuel coming out. Key on, no fuel coming out. Check the fuel pump relay fuse. That's fine. Let me show you what I got here. Fuel pump relay. Checked it. It was good. Actually, you can unclip this box. Right here, there's a tab. And right over here, there's a tab. You can actually take this box and fold it up out of here, and then get to your fuses on the bottom. And then right on the other side of this relay is a 30 amp fuse for the fuel pump. That was good. The relay was good. Vehicle just wouldn't run. Would not run at all. And pinpoint test was taking me absolutely nowhere. So I went back here to the fuel pump control module. And I know pin 1 is my power pin for my fuel pump control module. If it does not have power on it, it's not going to run. And it's right. It's right there. Those are common for going out too. So I unplug it with the connector tab facing this way. I go to pin 1 on the bottom. So the little push tab here, facing to your right arm. Bottom right pin is pin 1. I check for power with key on, no power. I say, okay, I got a power issue. come back up here to the box. I send power down there to it. I pull my relay up here, well, just a little bit right here. I pull it up like so. And I leave this back prong here open. I take my power probe and I stick it to that back prong and I shot power to it. Hey, crank the vehicle. Person cranked the vehicle, and as long as I was holding power to that back panel, it was sending power back there to that module, and it would just run beautiful. I said, okay. Well, I got a newer model, 2020 Fusion out here. It's the same layout, same fuse box, same everything. It just came in from the auction. So there's no programming involved. It's literally just a fuse box. It's a battery junction box. That's it. I took it out of there. It's got the extra fuses and stuff in it, but the layout's the same. It's not going to use all those fuses, and it doesn't have all the wires that car does going to it, but the layout is exactly the same. Same wires, same layout. So I took that 2020 fuse box and stuck it in this vehicle just to make sure that I was correct. Something is wrong inside that box. And sure enough, fires right up. Fires right up. So that box is bad. And I went ahead and I did some testing to kind of figure out where I was at, and I did notice that the box is really junky. Let's go over here and I'll show you what the box looks like. I ripped it all apart, and I seen a couple burned circuits inside the board real lightly. I don't really know if that has something to do with it completely, but everybody else has went home. I'm still here working, trying to get this done. I don't want to leave this customer hanging, so I stayed late to take care of it. So I take that old box and rip it all apart, and I'm looking at the diagram. Got my computer out over here, my voltmeter. The box is all ripped down. You got to take fuses out top and bottom. I get down to my circuit board and I notice I won't be able to pick it up on camera, but here is that relay, and then on the opposite side right here is where that fuse goes. And I notice, I don't know if I'll be able to pick it up or not, right at the base of this prong right here, it's got a little crack right there in the solder. I'm not going to be able to pick it up. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little crack right there in the solder, and that's the pin that goes to, that I send power down. Come on. That's the pin that I sent power down to verify that circuit was bad, or that the circuit from there back was good, and then at the same time power that fuel pump module up to make sure that it is this kind of brain box thing, this fuse box here. So I'll have to notify the customer that they indeed do have a bad fuse box, and it's just a quick in and out. I won't charge them any more money or anything for it. I'll just literally unplug everything, pop it in for them, clear codes, have a nice day. Yeah, it's a little mentally exhausting, but I'm glad that they don't have to go through another mechanic, you know. I wanted to go through the extra work to figure this out, because the pinpoint was having me go into data logger, turn this on, turn that on, watch this pressure, watch that pressure. Why? Why don't I just go right to the fuel pump module and make sure I'm getting power there, unplug it, just simple one check for power. Okay, if there's power there, obviously everything from there forward's good. It's from the fuel pump module back. So I had no power there. So I went back to the fuse box, verify relay, verify fuse location, verify integrity. Went ahead and I took care of that right when I was there. Okay, shot power back to it. Is it actually running from the circuit back? Yes, it is. Everything's working fine. Am I getting all my inputs from my PCM to it? Yes, I am. Everything's fine. I'm losing it inside the box. Inside the box somewhere that I'm not smart enough to figure out how to repair this. It's not my thing. I'm not one of those electric gurus that like digging into all this, but at least I got to the point where I'm at to where I can say, look, Mr. Customer, you won't have to take it to somebody else. This is your problem. I got your vehicle running right now. I have verified that this is the repair. What would you like to do? Anyhow, thank y'all. Be blessed.